So yeah, the cats. Been living in here for about 4 years. Before that, I lived in my car in a parking lot for I think a year. I was too depressed really to keep track, and I don't really have a good grip on it now. When I lived in the parking lot, there were feral cats living there too. Here in Tampa, in Florida, generally, broadly speaking, but here in Tampa is where I live. The cats that live outside, uh, feral might be a strong word. They won't let most people like pet them or touch them. Uh, they won't come inside. Um, they're everywhere. They fuck up the local ecosystem. Like we don't have enough birds, and the lizards are almost all gone because it never freezes. And mostly there's a local culture here of at least being kind to them mostly, and there's like someone on every block trying to feed the cats. Uh, that parking lot I lived in was by a busy street, and 2 or 3 litters of kittens born while I was there. A friend of Red's who does cat rescue stuff came and trapped some of them. Uh, they died regularly too. They get hit by the cars. Um, so once I paid rent here, I knew right away this place was not livable. But I, I had to borrow or be gifted 2 or 3 hundred just to make rent to move in here. I'd already had 2 legal evictions, so there was almost no point in asking anyone to let me move in anywhere. But so I was bringing the cats over one at a time because I didn't have any cat carriers. So I could chuck one in the car at the end of work and bring it over here. I got 3 or 4 of them over here before the car was totaled. I was told later the other 2 or 3 cats that I took care of in that parking lot just wasted away and died. Nobody else would feed them. So, but I rescued several, and there were a couple of cats living here already, and then a bunch of kittens were born outside. These are all feral cats, semi-feral. I mean, they'll let me pet them and pick them up. They're a little weird about it. I can get them into a carrier and get them into a vehicle. There are no facilities for rescuing or rehoming these cats in Tampa because there are cats everywhere. So my idea is to leave here in a vehicle in which I can just pile up cats in carriers, and these guys who live outside, there's someone else who feeds them, but not much, not enough. There's, by my count, when I did try to count, 27 cats living out there that primarily count on me for food. Leave out the ones that seem to feed a lot elsewhere, it's maybe 20. There's 6 or 7 for sure are going to do very badly if I'm not here. I tried cutting their food back to encourage them to find food elsewhere, and they just started seeming jittery and nervous and sad and losing a lot of weight. So as many of them as I can carry away, I got to carry away. And these indoor cats, I have 4 that live inside. One, Cricket, is old and sickly and has always lived with me. Angie and Red and I got Cricket in Miami. The other 3 all just turned up here in desperate need of help. What I call Mr. Princess just showed up on the doorstep one day, half starved to death. Had a badly infected bite wound, required veterinary care. A friend took care of that for me, so I don't have any money for that. He's doing well now. Wherever he came from, he's never been an outdoor cat. He was his owner's only cat. makes him sad that I can't focus all my attention on him. I don't know where he came from, or how he ended up outside and badly injured. Maybe whoever it is that owned him just cut him loose when he had medical issues. I don't know. Doesn't seem likely. He seemed to be used to being very loved by someone who was his only person, and he was the only cat. Someone with a beard, judging by the way he rubs his face on my face. But he can't be turned out in the yard. He's always been an indoor cat, obviously. Flotsam just turned up here New Year's Day, New Year's morning, came rushing in the front door, and I was feeding both the indoor and outdoor cats, and I just put him back outside. There was a bunch of kittens in the yard at that point, and he came back inside. He came rushing past me, and like, all right. I'm sorry, I had him misgendered for a long time. She, Flotsam, is really the most nervous cat I've ever dealt with, and so there's something medically wrong with her that needs attention. I don't know what it is. What in God's name did y'all knock over back there? What was that? Oh, good work. Some boxes and stuff. So Flotsam hides in the wall whenever anyone else gets anywhere near the door or the windows, and won't come out for a couple of days. Currently, I don't see her much, and I finally figured out yesterday it's because she's scared of this new electric fan here. It runs fairly well, and so it's kind of loud, and she won't come near it because she's scared of it. Her skin is all scabby, and now her fur is falling out, a lot of it. The fleas are bad here. I do give them flea medicine, though. I think it's the mold getting to her, too. My skin has got sores and weird issues in places. Cricket's also getting scabby in a very strange way. The other two cats don't have it so bad, but Flotsam has it really bad. I suspect it might be a thyroid problem or something. I don't really know much about cats. I didn't ever keep cats before I was married in Miami, and first my wife Angie and then my daughter Red took care of all the medical stuff with them. So I have not even been able to get somebody to brief me on how to deworm them, what worm medicines they need, how often. There's been more important things to deal with there. But once I get out of here, I got to start taking better care of them. Hopefully find homes for even most of the indoor cats. Mr. Prince is here. Certainly use a better home. Flotsam, I don't know if anyone else is ever going to get near Flotsam, the poor kitty. And Sparky turned up under this couch one morning. He was a really small kitten. He just came out from under the couch and started eating with the other cats. I thought when I first saw him that he had a really bad case of scabies or something. And then when I got a better look at him, I realized he'd been savaged by a larger animal, presumably a dog. All the fur and skin had been taken off his face, and the skin, when I first saw him, had mostly grown back. So it's like bare skin with little red spots all over it where scabs were. Whatever it was, it looked like it had bit down and scraped up his snout and his face. It's a miracle it didn't get either of his eyes. One of his eyes, I don't know, the muscle around it was tagged, and it sat funny for a while before the fur grew back in. Maybe it still sits a little funny, but that's why his face is so weirdly pointed. Skin all grew back, fur all came back, and whatever it is that injured him also fucked up his hind legs. He can't jump right. He can't land right. He's a little discoordinated front to back, and he just goes face first into shit, injures his chin constantly. So my friend who was getting the cats fixed with shots at the Humane Society, her dodge was that these cats, even the couple I have indoors, are feral, and they're trap and release. They have a program where they'll fix them, give them shots, and then release them back into the wild. And they clip their ears slightly so that they know which ones they've already done that for. But if they test positive for serious illness, they'll put them to sleep. You know, feline leukemia, feline AIDS, HIV, I guess. Um, so Sparky hasn't been fixed or gotten shots yet because the thing with his hind legs, I'm really afraid that they'll just decide he's defective enough to put him to sleep for his own good at the Humane Society if they think he's feral. So I have kept him inside, and once I'm working again and I move somewhere else, he gets to see a vet. But he hasn't seen a vet yet. And frankly, I love him the best. Something bit off half his face, and he came in here somehow, crawled in here half dead somehow. Flats and Lhasa, they turned up in here. Like, Sparky actually turned up inside. And the reason he's called Sparky is one of the extension cords that it runs everything. Like, there's just like a spider web of extension cords across the floor that I sometimes trip over. And so I was feeding them and moving, like, at a long old extension cord running from the back of the apartment that the fan was plugged into in the cat's water thing. And I had it in my hand where everything connects, and taking a step back to move it out of the way, the cat food, when Sparky, the kitten I'd never seen before, came out from under the couch. And I exclaimed out loud, like, "What? What are you?" And pulled on the cord funny in such a way that it fell apart in my hand. Like the cord, the actual place where the other things plug into it, just fell in half, giving me kind of a bad shock and darkened the room. And I had to replug everything to get a good look at the kitten that had just startled me badly enough to, shock myself on a broken extension cord. So, yeah, those blue sparks in the dark hit in my hand right when I saw him for the first time. That is why that cat is called Sparky.